I don't remember if this was immediately afterwards, but I do know there was another major war with the Koopa Kingdom when they took over Jewelry Land, one of the local other kingdoms allied with the Mushroom Kingdom. And they, at this time, they were out in force, like heavy military force. They built freaking Magitech mechs and had all sorts of guns and missiles and vehicles all over conquering Jewelry Land. So the princess sends Mario and Yoshi off with their experimental Super Scope cannon to destroy Bowser's forces and save Jewelry Land. And the Super Scope is kind of extremely powerful. He tears through all of Bowser's forces handily. And in the end, severely injures Bowser himself after destroying Bowser's personal mech suit.
Well, before that happened...
Yes, what was before?
We have to remember that Mario and the princess went on a golf tournament.
Right!
And they did so badly that...
So, yeah, it was immediately after Dinosaur Land. The princess wanted to go on vacation. So they... And the princess decided she wanted to see Mario's home on Earth. And so Mario decided to show Princess a good time by taking her on a globetrotting golf tour. The princess hated it. Both princesses, in fact, hated it, because in addition to Peach, they also brought Princess Daisy, and Luigi was there. And the princesses hated this. It was dull, it was uninteresting. Mario's bad at golf, so he couldn't even show them good time. And as a result, Mario was severely punished. Because you don't show the princess of the Mushroom Kingdom a bad time. You just don't.
So he's stripped of his title and reduced to a juggler.
Yep, reduced to court jester. Forced to juggle for the entertainment of the court. And also reduced to various other things, like when the Yoshi emissaries came by with this bizarre Yoshi sport, she forced Mario to show off the Yoshi sport for the kingdom and basically just be a fool overall. Let's see. Did Mario teach typing before Safari?
It was before Yoshi. It was before Safari.
Yeah, so after... While that was going on, while Mario was in disgrace, he was wandering around the kingdom trying to find a way to get back into the princess's good graces. And he finds, along the way, a random Bowser fortress, just kind of off in the middle of nowhere, not really anywhere in particular of any, like, strategic importance, but on Mushroom Kingdom land. So, obviously he had to take care of it. And while he was, prepping to take care of it, he happened to find a magic typewriter.
Which he couldn't use.
He's such a terrible typist. If only he'd given it to Luigi, it would have been fine initially, but he was such a bad typist that the magic typewriter exploded. And he had to go around finding all the pieces, and he had to break into the fortress to find some of the pieces, because some of the Bowser's forces took the pieces in.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah, it was this whole thing, but he did collect all the pieces of the magic typewriter, put it back together, and used it to just obliterate this fortress and everything inside. Like, he was not fucking around with that whole adventure. He just killed everything. So, that was... And when he reported it to the princess, he was no longer in disgrace. He didn't get his title back, but he was no longer forced to be the court fool.
So instead he did some painting.
Yeah, there was some painting happening.
And then he did some kart racing?
Yeah, then one thing that the princess did enjoy while on Earth was she did happen to have some time to look around when they weren't golfing, and she got the idea, seeing Earth car races, to have a racing circuit in the Mushroom Kingdom. So she founded the Mushroom Kingdom Gaming Commission, and they set up all of these racetracks and had go-kart racing. And as a gesture of goodwill, they even invited Bowser to join in the races. And even like used his castle as part of the racetracks.
It involved a lot of lava.
Yeah, that's just what happens in the Koopa Kingdom. That's right, something that I forgot to mention. This did happen definitively after the war in Jewelry Land. This I do distinctly remember.
Yoshi's Safari was after that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Super Mario Kart is 92, Yoshi's Safari is 93.
That doesn't sound right. I am dead certain on my list that Yoshi's Safari happened before Super Mario Kart. So I'm gonna roll with that as the story that I know, and I can always revise later if I turned out to be wrong about this, but... Yeah, so after the war in Jewelry Land, they had a meeting between the princess and Bowser, because this was kind of a huge, much bigger scale war than they'd had before. That just like the technology used was a bit much. So they met and signed a treaty agreeing that they wouldn't use some of these technologies ever again. So Bowser would never use the Magitech mech forces, and the Princess and Mushroom Forces would never use the Super Scope again. And this also kind of got them, at least the Princess thought, that they could maybe use this to build more of a general peace between the kingdoms. And as a gesture towards that, that's why she invited Bowser to join the races, and why they have Bowser's Castle racetracks. As part of this further, broader goal of peace between the kingdoms. And friendly relations. So, they had the Mushroom Kingdom, the first Mushroom Kingdom Grand Prix, and it goes well and everyone's happy.
Then Mario went missing, after Yoshi's made some cookies.
Yeah, so Mario went missing because, Bowser, after all of this, Bowser decides, you know what? He's gonna play along a bit with this peace with the Mushroom Kingdom. He's not going to attack the Mushroom Kingdom, he's gonna attack Earth. He goes to Earth, he goes to Antarctica, and builds a castle there, and comes up with this ridiculous plan to melt the polar ice caps with a bunch of hair dryers. It's kind of silly, I don't know why he wasn't using magic. Maybe he can't use magic on Earth? Maybe the Koopa Clan magic only works within the Mushroom World? But, that's his plan. He comes up with, and wants to get hair dryers to melt the ice of the Arctic. Yeah, no, Antarctic. Not the Arctic. It was Antarctica, I'm pretty sure. But, point is, while they were, Mario and Luigi and Yoshi went off to the Bowser's Castle there to stop this plot, and Mario wound up severely underestimating Bowser and got easily tricked into getting captured. And so Luigi was left to save him. This castle had warp pipes connecting all across the world, all across Earth, to various locations where Bowser was stealing Earth's cultural artifacts to ransom off for the Earth money he would need to buy all of these hair dryers for his ridiculous, stupid plan. I think Bowser may have been a bit muddled at this point, following his injuries in the Jewelry Land War, and that's why his plan was so terrible. But anyway, Luigi goes through and goes around and saves all of Earth's cultural artifacts and forces Yoshi to walk across Earth's oceans to bring him back from these various places to the Antarctic. And it's this whole big thing, and eventually he gets in and he saves Mario from Bowser, and Bowser is probably murdered again. He kind of shattered into pieces. But,
Then Mario had a bucket put on his head.
yeah, then, one day they decided to do some just exploring. Things got quiet for a little while. So, they went off exploring the peaceful woods nearby the castle. Or, no, the magical forest. It was the fairy woods, not the peaceful woods. The fairy forest nearby the Mushroom Kingdom. And, while they were there, Wario showed up. Wario, in his plane, flew over and dropped a bucket on Mario's head. Also, Peach and Yoshi. Luigi was the only one of their party who didn't wind up with buckets stuck to his head. And as a result, Luigi had to be the designated bucket remover, as they all got separated, because it's the fairies' forest. It's kind of magical and weird.
The fairies tried their best to guide them out of it.
Yeah, the fairies had to guide everyone back to Luigi so he could remove the buckets from their heads. This went on several times as they kind of tried to chase Wario down. He kept dropping shit on people's heads, and the fairy followed them to help remove all of the shit from their heads, because Luigi kept being the one person who wouldn't get anything stuck to his head.
It's like Luigi's really good at his job or something.
It's like Luigi's the only competent person in the party.
Right?
So, eventually, they chase Wario back to his castle, they smash up his plane a lot, and beat him up, and then that's it. There's not really much closure to that adventure.
No, and they need to stop and go through time.
Yeah, then, Bowser, still fucking around on Earth, has a time machine? So, I guess some amount of Koopa Clan magic he eventually got working on Earth, because he built a time machine, and, started stealing cultural artifacts from Earth's history. And so Mario had to go... Of course, Bowser had to gloat about this to Mario, which is how he knows to go and stop this. But Mario goes and breaks in and uses the time machine to go and send all of the artifacts back to their proper places in history and prevent the timeline from being changed. And that's how Mario wound up existing as a historical figure throughout Earth's history, all over the fucking place.
Then,
which may explain some of his easy celebrity,
yeah.
but, after that,
there was Super Mario Land 3.
alright, at some point during this, I believe this was after Mario is missing. It may have also been after Mario's time machine. Just Yoshi had to save Mario through time
Yes.
a few times. Because Yoshi could just do that, I guess. But, after needing to walk across the ocean and walk through time, they decided Yoshi needed to be rewarded. So, Mario started working a factory bakery, making bulk cookies for Yoshi.
Yes.
These cookies were very popular with Yoshi, and Yoshi brought them back to Yoshi's Island to share with the other Yoshis, and they kind of became the local currency.
It's a little weird to have a extremely fungible currency.
An edible currency, but, anyway, that was another thing that just kind of happened at some point during there. What was next?
Other than Mario Land 3?
Right, so while people were off doing their things, a giant golden statue of Princess Peach, which she had made because she's the princess, she's gonna have shit like that made, she's kind of vain, it got stolen by pirates. So Mario goes off to find the statue, and as he's going off to find the statue, like he takes a helicopter to find the statue and flies off to the island where the pirates are holed up. And as he's like approaching the island, he sees the pirate fortress just explode. It just kind of explodes entirely on its own for no reason, and the statue's there. So he goes and he grabs the statue and brings it home.